What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know. Tas, tas, tas. Ooh. I thinking when I got to tasing, right? But we're going to get it in. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I highly appreciate the support, man. Look at Nappy, the Nappy dugout, right? My shit's nappy today, man. Hey, my shit's Rick Rossi. It's Rick Rossi today, man, without the CO and the allegations. Boom. There we go, right? Are you guys ready for another super white torta, brothers? Right? My Hulk Hogan voice is off today, man. It's cracking today because Hulk is no longer with us. So it's like the inspiration is gone, homie. It's gone. But we're going to get into part two, man, of Super White Torta. Hey, I want half. Words. Here's two words that every man, women, earmuff it, that every man does not want to hear in his life. The first one is we need to talk, right? When a woman says we need to talk, there's nothing good that will come of it. She's not going to say, hey, we need to talk. And then you call her like, yeah, what's up? Oh, I just wanted to know what you wanted for lunch. Or, let's get, do you want a mamon when you get home? Or, hey, do you want me to wear this thong or that thong? It's never that. It's usually this. We need to talk. Oh, yeah, saying I'm not really feeling you anymore, man. Saying the neighbor moved in and he's working with 12 and you only got 11, right? You're like, what? What's 1 inch going to do for you, right? Oh, it'll make the difference. Or, saying? Like I had before all that work, working hard, sweating like a motherfucker, and all of a sudden she calls me talking about we need to talk. Bitch, we're talking right now. What do we got to talk about? I'm pregnant. You're right. We need to talk when I get off. You know what I mean? And then the motherfucker's fucking up everything, all emotional and shit. So that can never be good. Another thing is I want half. Marriage is a great thing. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of married couples that work harder together. They work smarter, not harder. There's a lot of couples that are meant to be. They found their other half, their soulmate, the right one. And then there's those of us that are just with the skonka. And she's talking about, hey, we need to make it official, like a referee's whistle. You're like, why? You know what I mean? Because she wants your bread. That's why. Straight up. Break bread like fucking a torta said. Literally, con butter. So with this, man, saying, I want half, I experienced it. And I experienced it in 1.27 gigawatts, like quick. Look, a woman changed, not overnight, but within a matter of minutes, she changed, right? It was fucking amazing for reals. So if you remember me and my torta, my white torta, my wifey, right? We had just figured out, what I'm saying, the caper of why the caper smelled like capers, right? Why her shit was pungent, right? Pungent. Well, how do you say that word? Her shit stunk, right? We figured it out, and for those that haven't watched part one, watch it. It'll kind of give you Oscar to make you throw up, but at the same time, it's all facts and truth. One guy was like, "You're making up whatever, right? You're disrespecting that chick." Shit, homie. She didn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was very surprised, but it's the facts, right? So, anyways, I literally, after she started smelling a lot better, I literally wanted to move in with her. But then I realized that her money was funny. Like she was getting a lot of state-funded money. She was getting help. And me being a taxpayer, I was feeling like I was paying for everything, which I literally was. But I had a job, and where I worked and where she lived, it was like becoming harder and harder to travel that distance. Plus, I had my family that was strictly against this chick. My mother took one look at her and said, "Piruja," right? She already knew. Mom always knows best, right? Hey, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you still have your mother around, listen to her. She's always right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she wasn't right when she was beating me with the chancla and a broom handle. But besides that, she was right. But I wasn't trying to hear none of that noise, right? So I'm kicking it. So this chick is all in my ear, biting on my earlobe, nibbling, hitting all the good spots, right? Talking about, we should get married. We should get married. Now, in the back of my mind, there was something telling me, hell nah, right, bitch? Like something telling me not to do it. But I was considering it because I was like, you know what? It's about time. I'm getting older. She's fine. I ain't gonna lie. We got over the stinkiness of the situation. So maybe, just maybe, I'm saying, I could play stepdaddy around this motherfucker. I could do it. And this is what happens, right? So one day I'm in the refrigerator, chilling, drinking up all the juices, right? And I close the refrigerator, and there's a grown man standing there talking about, hey, can I get a cigarette? I ain't even gonna lie. I immediately got into my Bruce Lee pose, like, what? Whopping, right? What the fuck? Where you from, homie? I went right back to fucking prison with it. And I was like, who the fuck is this fucking white dude sitting in there? He was all fucking nerded out too. He's like, hey, bro, would you mind if I have a cigarette, bro? I was like, oh, hell no, right? No. Yes, maybe. I don't. Who the fuck are you, right? So he's like, oh, you're sleeping with my mom. And I was like, well, how do you know I'm sleeping with your mom? He goes, because my room is right next to your room, and I hear, thudding going on. I said, did you smell it too? He was like, man, it was disgusting. I said, yeah, that was her. Yeah, your mom was contaminated. Anyways, what's up, bro? So we go out and smoke a cigarette. Come to find out, he's a 22-year-old dude that lives in the house that I never knew existed. Okay, she never told me that there was a grown fucking man with a gang of computer systems and a fucking wearing a wizard hat and thought he was a Dungeon and Dragon living next door, right? In the next room. I never thought or thunk he was quiet. I guess he would creep out when everyone was asleep and get food or whatever. We're going to get to all the reasonings why. So anyways, I'm chilling. He was like, yeah, my mom's telling me. And she used to smoke extensive weed with this kid, right? Or he wasn't a kid. He was a grown man, but whatever. It was her son. It was weird. I didn't like it. You want to hit the joint? Hell nah. You're in there smoking with your own. I didn't like the shit. It wasn't me. And so I was too busy working. So he started to get on my nerves because every time now that he had came out the room once, couldn't get that motherfucker back in there. He would come out all the time. Hey, you got a cigarette? You got a cigarette? So finally, I'd buy him a pack. Like, hey, bro, make that last. Next day, he'd be like, hey, you got a cigarette? I was getting tired of him. I want to choke the shit out of him, right? So she's like, hey, you got to be nice to my son because, he's very close. Look, tell the motherfucker get a job. He does work at Taco Bell. What? This motherfucker works and he's asking me for flowers? Oh, man, we got issues. So anyways, there was some warning signs going on, some red flags. One, she had a grown man living with us that I didn't even know who he was. Two, she always disappeared to the back. She was on the phone all the time. So one day I just had to get at her. I was like, well, hold up, man. You're talking about marriage and all that, but you're always disappearing. What are you doing? She goes, I'm not going to lie. My ex keeps calling me from prison. He just blows me up. So I'm trying to let him know what time it is. I'll let him know. So I remember I jumped on the phone. He was like, what's up, bro? He was a wood, right? I was like, what's up, brother? He was like, oh, bro, you're white? I said, no, I'm Mexican, but look, brother. You know what I'm saying? I have to talk where you'll understand my dialect. Yeah, she's with me now, brother. No disrespect or nothing. He was like, oh, bro, I'm going to be with her when I come home. I said, well, we're just going to have to figure that one out. That should have been the ultimate red flag right there. Like, she's still talking to this dude. What am I doing, right? Again, I wasn't tripping, right? Because I figured, man, you could have fucking the trash bag if you want, literally, right? Because I never know when another thing's going to get stuck. She obviously doesn't know when she puts them in, and I don't either. Nor do I care at this point. So I had already made my mind up like, hell no. So around this time, COVID pops up. And if you guys remember, man, everyone's wearing the mask. They're putting everyone on restrictions. You had to be homes at certain time, man. You had to have me. I was an essential worker. So I had a letter from the governors, literally, right? I had a letter from the governor of Washington telling, and we were up in Washington right at the time, saying that I was allowed to be out past 10 p.m. to work and all that. Every in the streets there was no traffic. So it was all good. I remember I got pulled over one time. The cops seen it. It was signed by the governor. I thought I was big, man. You ain't the governor, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I wasn't shit. I was a stupid ass that was still working while everyone was collecting the double up on what's that called? They were getting their motherfucking money. Okay. Unemployment was bubbling for them. They were unemployed out the game. Here I am employed getting less than they're getting. It's crazy. Y'all remember. Anyways. She keeps on being in my ear, and she was like, we have a certain, they're only going to do marriages up to this date, then they're going to shut the courthouse down. We don't know. COVID, it might be the end of the world, this, and that. She was all freaked out about it, right? All watching the news every day. And she was committed to wanting to get married to me. She's, I love you. You don't understand. Well, about that time, I ain't going to lie, my money started to get funny. What happened was they were doing a lot of layoffs at the job, and literally they were telling us essential workers that we weren't almost as essential as we thought, right? So they're like, hey, they were sending us home, letting us work a couple hours. It wasn't even worth going way the fuck where I was going, right? I was like, damn, man, I ain't even gonna lie. My money's distant lovers. It's like a Marvin Gaye song, right? I just didn't know what to do. So she was like, her homegirl used to pick her up all the time. She'd disappear. She'd come back, and I remember her arm was swollen. And I was like, where are you going? You know what I'm saying? Every time she left, she'd be like, oh, don't trip, dinner's on me. Like, she thought she was balling. You ever met a person that doesn't really have shit, and then when they do have a little bit of something, they don't know how to act. They spend it so quick. Like what they had to do to get it didn't count. So anyways, I told her, I was not hip to that ghetto shit, man. I come from the barrio in the ghetto, but I never indulged. I just got straight to the streets with a fucking crack sack and just get it, right? I never did the extracurricular fucking weird shit like standing in lines and donating and all that. So anyway, she was like, "Oh, I donate plasma." I was like, "What's that?" You know what I'm saying? I watched the Ghostbusters, but I'm not Slimer. Is that what is that what it is? The plasma thing? She was like, "No, stupid, you have plasma in your body." And I don't. And I was like, "Oh no, they're not taking nothing out of my body." She was like, "No, but they be hitting. Sometimes they give you 100. Sometimes it goes up every time." And I got intrigued because one thing about me is I've always been a hustler. And if white people are handing out money, I'm going to be the Mexican in line to get it. Right. Minus a few quarts of my blood and some fucking shit she called plasma. I was like, let's go. Right. So I pull up with her and I ain't gonna lie, I'm nervous the first time. Like, what's going on here? They stuck a big ass needle in my arm and they told me to breathe and whatever. And I'm sitting back. And anyways, they cashed me out like 120. And I was like, ooh, wee. I'm saying I could put gas in my car. I could actually make it to the job that doesn't pay me shit. So we started to do that a little while. I felt fucking like the type of people I was around were sitting in the lobby, bunch of fucking old tecatos. And I remember they were tripping on me because of my tattoos. It was just crazy. It was craziness. So I was like, she was like, this is how I survive throughout the month. I just go donate and it is what it is. Plus my welfare check and all that. And I was like, man, I am not marrying this woman. No way, no how. Well, just about a couple of weeks prior to this alleged wedding that was supposed to happen, her homegirl was like, oh, I'm going to be the best woman. You're going to be the biggest woman there too. I promise that, right? Big old 400-pounder. I'm like, man, she was like, are you going to have any of your homeboys be your best man? I said, nah, I ain't doing none of that. Man, I guess your 22-year-old son will be my fucking best man or even the other kid. I don't care, right? I'm not even into that shit. And she was like, we're going to get married at the courthouse, but we have to be there at this time. And I'm trying to figure out a way to weasel out of it. So I'm like, hey, I got to work overtime that day. She was like, yeah, well, you got to call off work because, so we've been waiting. And I'm like, bitch, we've only been together for 2 months. What are you talking about, right? But I was realizing the situation here slowly but surely. I surely didn't realize fast enough. So here comes the day, right? And I work and I'm telling my boss, man, I'm supposed to go get married today, man, later on this afternoon. He was like, you don't seem like happy about it. I said, hell no, bro. If anything, I want to get rid of it, man, because you got to understand at the same time, I was dealing with the baby mama too that thought we were together. She literally thought we were together. So I was dealing with her and I was dealing with this other one. And there was a beef going on there and they literally fucking got together and ganged up on me. It was all bad, right? So I was like, fuck, man, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Now, let me express this to you guys. Women, earmuff it. If you're feeling like you're being pushed into doing something you don't do, be man enough to be more man than them. Be strong, right? Be Apollo Creed shit. Hey, be more man than them and let them know straight up. And hopefully they're not a man because then you're into some weird shit and do whatever the fuck you feel you got to do. But in my case, I should have been the man to be like, put my foot down and be like, nah, now is not the time. Well, when's the time? Never. Do you understand? Never is the time. But I didn't realize it, right? So I literally, she was rushing me home. So I get home and I'm trying to take my time. I got to take a shower first. I got to get dressed. And she's like, hurry. We got 15 minutes. We got to hurry. We're racing down the freeway. And I ain't even gonna lie. I was braking it like a motherfucker. I was hitting them brake lights for reals. I was braking. She was like, why are you hitting the brakes? Why are you only going 30 on the freeway? Man, there is no one else out here. They're all essential workers, right? I making up any excuse. We make it to the courthouse, man. I'm slow dragging. She's like, we got to sign these papers. We go up to the front. I'm signing these papers, right? I swear to God, if a fucking judge didn't peek his head around the corner and be like, oh, we got time for one last one. I said, man, maybe it's fate. Maybe it's meant to be, right? Now, up until this point, this chick didn't ask me for nothing. She never asked me to pay her bills. She never asked for none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, her plasma money was my plasma money. Like we made shit happen. So I can't say that she was a greedy woman and that she was trying to get me. She never displayed those characteristics or qualities. She did display tetas, which were fake, but nice and voluptuous. And she did let me do other things that not necessarily every woman is down for. So I'll say this. I was intrigued by the aspect of being able to, you know what I'm saying, fulfill my fantasies forever. But I was never intrigued by the fact, and I've always been like this. Look, women, this is going to turn you off about me. I don't like spending my money on chicks. It just is what it is, man. We can go out. We can have a nice dinner. We can watch a movie as long as it's benefiting both of us. But as far as your birthday comes around, hey, I have a limit here, a $20 Outback Steakhouse card. That's what you get. Why? Because I like steak, you know, or maybe if I'm just feeling feisty that day, you might get a $22 or $23 card. And literally, I'll tell them, hey, just put 23 on it, right? Just for the woods, brother. You might get a fucking anything under $25 card, right? At the Olive Garden. Because I know you like the breadsticks. That's just me. So anyways, right? We walk into this motherfucking courthouse. I'm slow dragging for reals, right? I'm hoping the judge says, you know what, fuck this shit. I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? I got Torta. I need to go use the bathroom. All this is playing in my mind. And it wasn't because this chick was bad. Not necessarily. She was, but it wasn't, right? But it was because I thought, damn, man, what am I doing? I'm ruining my life. Well, life ruined. So anyways, we go through the little ceremony. She's all happy, right? She had the little wedding, man. She was trying to fucking, me, I was just in some jeans and a fucking hoodie. Straight up. I looked like I was going to go commit a robbery, not a wedding, not a wedding wreath, right? So here we are married, man. A gang of little mud rats, fucking little nasty ass kids in the thing. I'm like, oh man, her kid's all dirty and she mocos. I'm like, her big old fat homegirl fucking smells like Burger King, right? I'm like, God, man. You know what I'm saying? I could see, if I look close, I could see the caspa on her hair. She didn't even wash her hair. I'm like, man, how the fuck you a beautician and you don't even wash your own hair? I'm just like, what am I doing? How did I end up here? God help, right? There was no help. It was total silence besides the judge saying, I pronounce you, boom, hit the thing, man and wife. That's not the way I pictured it. My first wedding was halfway decent, right? They pronounced us man and wife and with a hug, right? This one's like, I pronounce you man and wife. I felt like I was getting convicted for life, which I pretty much was. I wasn't getting, the conviction was going to be real. So anyways, immediately, she was like, maybe we should go out to eat or something. I said, no, see, the way that fucking COVID works is we can't take all these kids with us. Maybe we should drop their ass off and your fat ass homegirl to watch them because I ain't paying for her at all, right? My plasma money don't hit enough for her, right? Should I have to donate 6 quarts of blood? And I'm not trying to do that for her. And that's just for her meal. So her homegirl's like, you're an asshole. I don't even know why you married him. Yeah, you're right. She shouldn't have, right? We drop her and the kids off, right? Man, as soon as we got in the car, this is exactly what she tells me. She says, we need to talk. I said, oh, no. Now, here's a word to the wise. There was no way for her to get pregnant because I don't even think her shit could produce kids anymore. It was so blown out, right? And me, I had a vasectomy, so I definitely wasn't doing that. So that was not me, right? She goes, we need to talk. I'm like, what? She goes, we're husband and wife now, so I'm going to handle the finances. I said, oh, cool. Well, shit, I married the right one. You're going to handle the finances? She goes, yeah, so every time you get a check, you give it to me, give me all your money, and I'll handle the finances and pay all the bills with your check. Because, see, we are married now, so I'm not eligible for all this shit. So now it's all on you. Should I say that in slow motion? It's all on you, right? I said, oh, no, it's not, right? Oh, no, siree. Man, she said, well, then fine then. We'll get a divorce. I want half. Bitch, half of what? All I drive is an Elantra. What do you want, right? What do you mean you want half? You got to understand, I wasn't even doing YouTube at this time. I didn't have half of nothing. She was like, I want half. She was like, I want a divorce and I want half. We've only been married for 27 minutes. What do you mean you want half? She already wanted half. The whole plan was to marry this stupid idiot like myself, right? With good Torta. I mean, I gave her good Torta, right? And her shit was corrupted and malfunctioned and smelly. And so I feel I should have got a consolation prize at least, but she wanted my money. Talk about I cover the finances. Now, I don't know about you, but I wasn't going out like that because for one, I'm Mexican and we don't like giving nada, right? And for two, chick, are you kidding me? I'm not going to pay for the antibiotics for that. That's what's never going to happen. Wife or not. So she was like, fuck you then. So we got in a big old argument. I left, went chilled out with one of my sisters and did my thing, right? She's calling me, come back. I love you. You're my husband now. I'll stalk you to the ends of the earth. You're my husband. So we met up someplace. I gave her the you know what I'm saying? I took her to Funky Town. And when I say Funky Town, I took her to town. She took me to Funky. It wasn't that funky anymore though, but it still had a little tartness, which I believe was just how she smelled on the natch. So anyways, I digress. Literally. We did what we did, right? Next thing you know, we're having a lot of arguments now. All of a sudden, it ain't fun in Candyland anymore. You know what I'm saying? She don't got that juicy. She got that oozy, right? And I was cool. So what ends up happening is this. Now that we're married, I'm committed. I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You're still not getting my check. She was like, hey, did you get paid yet? I said, no. I told her I didn't get paid for like a month. She was like, what happened to your money? I thought the bills are coming up. You still are on a Section 8. Calm down, right? So everything's going to work out to it isn't working out anymore. They don't even know we're married yet. And I'm looking for the prenup shit. So before they do, we won't. Anyways, right? Her son, I don't want to go into too much detail, man. But I bring my daughter over there and her daughter and come to find out that the son was a weirdo and it just wasn't what I thought it was. And I immediately left this chick and she was defending her son who was a chomo and I couldn't do that. And that was how that ended up. And I ended up leaving her, right? And never to return again because fuck, are you kidding me, right? She disrespected my daughter, disrespected my family, disrespected me to the fullest. And I was just done. But this chick literally asked me for half my money. This is what goes on. So I say this to say this, right? I say that to say this. Watch who the fuck you're with and who you marry. If you ever meet a chick on the internet, she's going to net you innerly, right? She's going to get you for everything you got. This chick wanted half. She was like, I need half. Man, we just got married over a cold bowl of soup that tasted undercooked, right? You're tripping. You smelling like that, asking me for half? Are you kidding me? I need half. You know what I'm saying? I need half. I'm going to call the Section 8 and ask them if the money that you don't pay, if they can reimburse me for having to go through the treachery of that smell for as long as I did. So what? I fucked you. It didn't mean it shouldn't have smelled like that. I'm a victim here. I was victimized 10 different ways. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're going to end this one right here because this is trash. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. So here's a word to the wise. She introduced me to Chipotle. It sucked. Tried to poison me. That's my story. I'm going to stick to it. She let me enter something that was called the trash zone, right? I went in there like a pickup and came out like a Pinot. I'm cool. And 3, she wanted all my money. Damn, what was I thinking? That's a perfect example of letting the little head, which is actually kind of a big head, think for the bigger head. Don't do it. I repeat, don't do it.